Oh, nothing. You think I don't see ya? Good to see you again. The pledge today was very interesting, wasn't it? The certainty in Quartermaster Aymer's voice. Beautiful. Makes one eager to start work. So, what do you need this time? The pass again? Are we planning a trip to the Stale Lamb? Hey, not this time, my friend. I've run out of ink. I'm waiting for a delivery. Steward Orla will let me know when more arrives. In the meantime, I need to ask you for a favor. So, you in? For the sake of our long friendship? Just as we agreed. I appreciate that you remember. Holding one's tongue is the key to success. Keep it up. I guess you still haven't sobered up, huh? The Stale Lamb. You know, the tavern in the village below the keep. It's run by Ron. Truly a great place. I hope they're not planning to close it down. Oh, they wouldn't do that, right? You do know it needs to stay between us. Do you understand? Say you understand. Fantastic. So, here's the thing. On a recent night out at Ron's, it seems I may have left some sensitive documents at the bar. Documents, with Captain Fergus' seal. But not necessarily sealed by him. You know what I mean. I can't really go there right now. Could you get them back for me? I'm sure it won't be too much of a problem. Splendid! When you have the documents, meet me at the third crowing of the rooster. Or just find me. I'll be around.
You all right, newbie? Have you been to see the refugees? I can't believe poor Cole was put in a cage. I don't see how it's all that complicated. An innocent man was sentenced to death, just because he wanted to protect himself and his wife. And Mahon's wound isn't even that deep. It's just one man's word against another. And Cole, an outsider, dependent on the mercy of our superiors? Oh, he didn't stand a chance of winning this. The refugees don't trust us, and it's no wonder. It shouldn't be like this. Frankly, I think Mahon brought it on himself. They shouldn't have put that poor man in a cage. Didn't expect to see you.
The horns of the south, the crown jewel of these lands. We had barely laid the foundations of Tainted Grail when Seawall and his men had already built a lighthouse, eager to guide our ships to them. He always had a competitive spirit. Of course, it helped that he took every sailor from the homelands with him, along with a handful of knights, so they could learn from one another. And thus, the Keepers of the South were formed. I decreed that every sworn keeper would stand as an equal to a Knight of the Round Table. I doubt they still honor that law. But I am glad to see the keepers grown. In my time, there was only a lighthouse and barracks.
Didn't expect to see you.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. The savage tribes, the brave lightkeepers. I wanted to make an homage to them with my new style, and I do believe I've succeeded. I can feel everyone here gazing at me with awe. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happens in Camelot all the time. It's almost insufferable. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell, it's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid. I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old, familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other, but a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. That's so. Fine. Whatever you say. But yeah, I could see that you don't really look like one of them. Just passing through then. Shame it had to be now. Not so long ago, we'd have sat down and had a drink with the rest of the lads. Now I come here alone. Berg told you about Kindle. Why the hell did he do that? Guilty? He's got nothing to feel guilty about. There was nothing we could do. We were damn lucky they let us go. Any other day, we'd have ended up just like Kendall. What? Kendall's what? You're telling me a ghost comes to him at night, knocking about and not letting him sleep? Shit! I sure wasn't expecting that. Hell, if you ask me, that entire thing was done and dusted long ago. Shit happened. That's all. Kendall got promoted to Lance Corporal. He was strutting about like a fancy lady in a new petticoat. One day, he said, "We've got a job to do. All four of us." We were ambushed. Berg cracked. Same with Finley. Me, I had to act. That's it. That's the story. Wasn't about that, but about who deserved that promotion. I never thought it should have been me, mind you. Kendall was an arse-licker. If the captain told him to shit himself, he'd have done it, standing to attention. Berg deserved the promotion. He was strong as a horse, best at fighting, and first of us to come to the horns. The rest came a bit later, though we were all still kids. Anyway, Finley thought the same. Listen, kid. You better stop talking out of your ass. You weren't there. And I was. And Berg Finley, too. I saved our lives. That's all bogus. You can't scare me with shitty ghost stories. If Kindle ever appeared to me, I'd give him an earful, damn it. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them. Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Yeah, back then, sure. Civilians came and went. But housing them? Feeding them? We had a rule. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window. Along with our pride. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man out of you. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're made of glass. Soft. Weak. The lot of them. What's there to be proud of? You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, how do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. Just like that? Give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. You see anything interesting around here? There's this tavern, and plenty of fish in the sea. Decent place to retire, but not much else. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the locals tear you to shreds. Get moving, then.
Did you hear about the captain's lockdown? Looks like the lads aren't too happy about it.
Yeah, but you know Fergus. He's got a stick up his ass. Only knows how to follow orders like a good little soldier. He's so uptight, he probably agrees with the captain. Thinks it's all necessary precautions and the like.
Now, speaking of precautions, what's all this talk I'm hearing about the weirdness creeping in? People are getting jumpy.
Ah, the weirdness. Got folks scared, all right. Used to be old stories to spook the young ones. But now, even the tougher lads are starting to believe there's more to it.
If the weirdness thing's real, we've got bigger problems than a lockdown.
Aye, and Fergus better pull that stick out of his ass and start focusing on the real threats, or we're all done for.
You remember Sewell Firstfoot's tomb? Used to be a popular pilgrimage spot, but ever since the flooding, nobody's been out there.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. The whole place is forgotten, like it never even mattered. Pilgrims stopped coming after the water rose.
You've heard the rumors, right? Some say the druids caused the flooding. Now, honestly, I wouldn't put it past them.
I don't know. Druids? Why'd they bother flooding a whole village? What's in it for them?
Maybe they wanted to keep folks away from something. Or they weren't too fond of Sewell getting all that attention. Druids are a strange lot.
Strange, sure, but flooding a village to stop pilgrims sounds a bit far-fetched to me. Could have been something else entirely.
Doesn't matter much now. The tomb, the village, it's all gone. Nothing but water and memories left.
Aye, a place lost to the depths, and with it, a piece of our history.
You seen all the refugees coming from the nearby villages? They're trying to get away from the bandits and the weirdness.
Aye, I've seen 'em. Can't blame 'em for wanting some safety. With bandits and the weirdness creeping closer, who wouldn't be scared?
There may be, but I don't trust strangers. They could be bringing trouble with them. Never know what kind of folk you're letting in.
You're always suspicious. They're just trying to survive, same as the rest of us. Besides, where else would they go?
Speaking of the refugees, you hear about that one Cole? Looks like he's ill or something.
Aye, I heard. Poor lad's in rough shape, but thank the All-Mother it's not the Red Death. We couldn't deal with that here.
Still don't sit right with me. Sick folks in a crowded place? It's a risk, is.
Maybe, but what are we gonna do? Turn 'em away? We've all got our burdens to carry.
Did you hear about the captain's lockdown? Looks like the lads aren't too happy about it.
Yeah, but you know Fergus. He's got a stick up his ass. Only knows how to follow orders like a good little soldier. He's so uptight, he probably agrees with the captain. Thinks it's all necessary precautions and the like.
Hello, child. You look competent enough. I can see that you're not of noble blood. Oh, no need to tell me that. I have tutored the children of aristocrats from all over Avalon. Fortunately for you, my opinion of them is not particularly high. Oh, and you don't look like one of the locals. Are you a visitor? Or an adventurer? You can talk. Now, I'm sure we'll get along. My name is Lady Elaine. I oversee the Farshire Library, the greatest collection of books in this part of Avalon. By the All-Mother, don't tell me you don't know what Farshire is. The largest duchy in the middle of the island, with the wise Lady Kincaid in power, who has a hold over the entire territory. Nothing? Oh, really? Farshire is one of the first duchies on Avalon. It is a beautiful land with lush fields, forests rich in game, and most importantly, the Wordstone mines in the west, the primary source of our wealth. Well, at least that's how I remember it. Now it's a mere shadow of its former glory. Oh, it's a rare and coveted material, necessary to create the sturdiest steel in the world. As you can imagine, dear, it used to be Farshire's greatest treasure, until the primordial fog took our minds. I know, child. I know. Everyone was surprised. Camelot turned up their noses at this for years. But after Lord Kincaid died and Aidan, Lady Kincaid's son, disappeared, the nobles of Farshire decided she could stay on the throne. Even if Aidan had been alive, she would still be ruling as a regent until he came of age. But between you and me, he wasn't a very bright boy. So she would have been ruling until her death anyway. Oh, we're lucky to have her. Difficult times require determined leaders. Worse than ever. Oh, the wordness is thickening, and the roads are getting dangerous and unpredictable. That's why I'm here, wandering Avalon looking for solutions. If I don't do this, who will, hmm? You're probably wondering what a feeble old lady who can't even lift a sword could possibly accomplish. But King Arthur didn't conquer Avalon just because he couldn't swing a blade. No, he had knowledge, and enough wisdom to know how to use it. Lady Kincaid wasn't happy when she found out about this idea. But all Mother's mercy, I am her tutor. She cannot dictate what I do, no matter her standing. Oh, do you mean a family? Oh, I've never had time for such trifles. No suitor was ever more interesting than a good book, nor did any of them smell better either. And I've raised enough of other people's children to never wish for my own. Oh, surprising. I'm looking for someone who will help me find a certain artifact. So, are you interested, child? I came to the Horns of the South because I found a fascinating book. It referred to a certain object, a figure most likely, which has the ability to dispel the wordness like a menhir can. Apparently, it can be found on the ship called Andraste, which sank over 100 years ago somewhere in this area. However, when I asked those nincompoops about it, they just laughed at me. They said that the Andraste wasn't carrying anything of value, and even if it was, they wouldn't freeze their butts off in those chilly waters. The Last Voyage of the Andraste by Elvis the Lightkeeper. He was one of the more notable keepers. In his waning years, he became an adjutant to Captain Lex. But it's best if you read it yourself. You can read, can't you? But just be very careful. This is a very rare publication. Read it very carefully, and after you're done, come to me, and I'll tell you more. Deal? Ah, and they say young people don't want to learn anything. Come on, chop, 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 get to reading. Have you read The Last Voyage of the Andraste? Oh, splendid, splendid. Oh, it's an excellent book, don't you think? Now, let's test your reading comprehension. According to Elvis the Lightkeeper, in the mine near the Horns of the South, they found something that they took with them on the ship. Do you remember what that was, child? That's right. This is the artifact I'm looking for. One that might be vital to repelling the wordness. According to Elvis's description, the figure is smaller than a menhir, and light enough that they were able to carry it to the ship without any trouble. Were it small, it would probably have been placed in Captain Lex's quarters instead of in the hold. I've estimated it should be about 1 meter tall. Good. Next question. What was the Andraste's destination? Correct. Be very careful with what I'm about to tell you. But some believe that the Red Priests are dedicated to studying the wordness instead of the Red Death. Captain Lex must have thought they'd pay him generously for a four-dweller artifact. Last question. What sank the Andraste? Yes, you did well, child. I can see that you were paying attention. According to Elvis, the Andraste was sunk by the legendary terror from the deep. But if you want to know more, ask your keeper friends. They should be much better informed. Now, all you need to do is find the wreck of the Andraste and retrieve the mysterious figure. Oh, if only I knew. It must have happened somewhere on the way between the Horns of the South and the Island Asylum. Oh, but where exactly? Fortunately, I know something that could help us. In the Horns of the South Museum, there are some extremely interesting books and documents lying around and collecting dust. Can you imagine having such treasures at hand and choosing to completely ignore them? Oh, barbarians! Among them, you'll find the Andraste's logbook, which was saved by Alvis. I've read it, of course, but I know nothing about sailing. I'm sure such a competent child as yourself will handle it much better. Go to the Horns of the South Museum, read the logbook, and then tell me whether you managed to locate the wreck of the Andraste.
Beer from Kunecht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish. Lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? Stale fish? Yeah. Look around. You're in the capital of fresh fish. Unless you're buying from Heffen. I can't vouch for him. Here though, take your pick. All today's catch. You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brenadin was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a werebeast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore. No, I don't recall anything like that. But that means... no. Impossible. What if... Holy moonshine. I remember. Sigibald. It was Sigibald who left those documents behind. I've no idea how you found out about it. Sigi. He's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Sigi was a friend worth 5 others. And he was. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure. No problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked with Sigibald, please, give him my warm regards. I don't understand anything anymore.
Aye. You're not from around here, are you? Come on. Sit down and tell me something about the world out there. Dunno. If I knew what to ask, I'd have asked it already. Now that I believe. Everywhere's a mess. Even here. I remember when we were held in the same regard as Camelot. Look at us now. They're taken in wimps. It's nothing like the old days. You bet they were. It's all been falling apart ever since they put Captain Brendan in charge. That one's got two coins, whereas I should be, if you ask me. Doesn't care about anyone or anything. He's just looking out for his own skin. Worst captain I ever served under, no doubt. Not that I serve anymore. I'm retired now. Filth everywhere. And it reeks of fish. Everyone's terrified of the weirdness. It's hard to believe I've lived long enough to see times like these. Not that long ago, we used to scare kids with stories about the weirdness. But now, grown men wet themselves if we tell the same tales. Honestly, I'm done with it all. I don't even recognize this world anymore. And I don't want to. Don't even get me started. Fergus always claims he's busy, but for the life of me, I can't figure out what he actually does. Probably just pretends to work. I talk to Riderick from the museum sometimes, but that one's a real know-it-all. We always end up arguing about how things used to be. If you ask me, they're all just as bad as each other. It's never gonna be the same again. My brothers are gone, and I'm left here, all alone. We had a beautiful tradition. Choosing new keepers was done differently back then. You had to lie down and sleep in a special spot, but that's all I'm gonna say. It's a secret, and it looks like it'll die with me. Huh? Of course I do. In my day, it wasn't sunken. It was a beautiful, lively place. Pilgrims would visit the All-Mother's Temple and Excalibur, and end up in the village. It broke my heart when I heard about the flooding. They say the Druids caused it. But who really knows? It doesn't matter now, who did or didn't do what. It's over, that's all. Now go on, leave me, like everyone else has. There's nobody left with any sense to talk to.
Oi, Noel! What if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip? Would I still get to be king, or not?
You're so daft, Randall. Some magical lass living in a lake gave the king the sword when he broke his own bashing four-armed skulls.
So, the one in the stone, what's that called? It's not Excalibur, is it?
Nah, the one in the stone was called, don't know. Sword in the stone, I guess.
Sod it, whatever. So, if I pulled the sword in the stone from the, stone, and it broke, but only a little, would I still get to be king?
What? No. You'd have to pull out all of it. Only the one who pulls out the sword gets to be king, yeah? Not the one who pulls out a bit of the sword.
Wait, but But if you have a sword and it breaks, do you tell everyone that you have a sword or that you have a piece of the sword? Besides, you can always take it to the smith and he can fix a new tip.
But if he fixes a new tip, it won't be the same sword.
Are you off your knocker? How's it not the same sword? So, what is it now? A plowshare?
A shit share.
Listen, just listen to me. You've got it all wrong. You've got a sword, right? And then the tip breaks off, so you attach a new one, right? But then, let's just say it breaks again.
That's one shitty sword you have there.
Now, listen to me. Now, damn it. It breaks off, so you fix it with a new piece again. And then it happens again, and again, and again. Until you finally get yourself a whole new blade from the smith. So get this, if the whole blade was replaced, is it still the same sword?
Well, no, it isn't.
There you have it. You just need to be, what's the word? Rational.
Fine, fine. Now let's have a drink. My throat's drier than a priestess purse.
See, now you sound rational.